Hey y'all, welcome to a special video in place of our live stream this week. Today we're going to react to Red Bus Russ, another fellow American living here in the UK. Excellent channel. Definitely go check him out. I'll leave a link for his channel and this video in the description box below. Moving to the UK saved my life. I know he's had a big transition physically since he's moved to the UK. I am curious and hoping to pick up a few pointers so I can help my weight loss journey too. Let's see what he's got to say.
Let's talk about how much weight I've lost since I started living in the UK, because you guys keep asking about it. Every video lately, there's comments like, mate, you look different. Have you lost weight? What happened?
Wow, that is a big difference. I've been watching this video. I noticed it subconsciously or unconsciously, however it's supposed to be the right word. But seeing it side by side like that, wow, I'm inspired already. First minute inspiration. Okay, go.
Happened to you? So I figured, all right, let's actually sit down and talk about this. My name is Russell. I'm an American who's been living in the UK for about a year now. And since moving here, I have lost 80 pounds, pretty much passively, which I think works out to 5 stone, 10 pounds.
Passively. Now I'm annoyed. Although I did lose a lot of weight the first year that I was here as well. But anyways, this isn't about me. Let's see what he's got to say. But 80 pounds, that's crazy. Wow.
Still working on using stone for measurement. And no, I have not been on a diet, no weight loss programs, no personal trainer, no insane gym routine. And honestly, if you think that's unbelievable, I don't blame you, because I still really can't believe it myself. Now, before we get into everything, I want to show you something. I made a video a few weeks ago comparing 2 loaves of bread, one from the UK and one from the US. As a follow-up to that video, I left them both out at room temperature for 2 weeks. This is what the UK bread ended up looking like.
Oh,
And that's what the US bread looked like.
holy cow. I mean, I knew that the US bread was terrible compared to the UK bread. I knew obviously it's not just bread, right? There is a ton of differences between the food in the US versus the UK. In America, pretty much, if there's no mold on it or it doesn't smell funny, you could still eat it and drink it. So that's always the rule I grew up with anyway. Look at that, 2 weeks. And the American bread isn't even a slightly moldy. That's crazy.
Bread reached the end of its life, moldy, exactly what it should look like. But the US bread looks just like when I bought it. It was even still edible. Yes, for science, I did take a bite out of the 2-week-old room temperature American bread. Nevertheless, the difference between these 2 loaves kind of explains this entire story. Last year, I started staying long-term in the UK so that I could be with my girlfriend who lives here. At the time, I had already spent years trying to lose weight. At my peak, I was 299 pounds,
Ooh.
over 21 stone, and I just couldn't bear to see my weight on the scale become 300. So I tried calorie counting. I exercised a lot more than I normally did. I tried eating healthier, but whenever I would lose weight, I would somehow gain it all back.
I totally feel him on this. Just go in these cycles and everything costs, all the healthy stuff costs so much more money, and something would come up and we'd have to scrimp and save and it would always be on food for some reason. Wow. Hooked. Want to hear more. Keep going.
The oldest time for anyone who's ever tried to go through their own weight loss journey. It happens every single time I made any progress. I got so frustrated with the cycle. I even got a health counselor at one point to help give me advice and motivate me. But even that didn't work. And eventually I just started believing that there's something inherently wrong with me. Like lack discipline, or that I was just a lazy person, or maybe it's just how my body is. But the funny thing about losing a bunch of weight is
That is something that if y'all have never had an issue with your weight or ever had to worry about this in your life, that is something that you tend to internalize, takes a toll on your mental health and stuff. I am totally on board for this journey. Let's find out more.
looking back now, I didn't realize just how unhealthy I actually was. I look at old videos and pictures of myself, and I was just constantly wearing baggy clothes. And while that was part of my style, really, I was just hiding. A couple of years into my weight loss journey, I got diagnosed with severe obstructive sleep apnea. That's basically when you can't breathe while you sleep. It's caused by a number of things, but the number one risk factor is obesity. So basically, I had fattened myself up to the point where I couldn't breathe during the week. And
Wow.
I started having to wear this big old mask that I have to strap to my head and a hose coming out of it attached to a machine that blows air through my airways while I sleep so I don't stop breathing and die. Now, why talk about baggy clothes and Betty Bye breathing machines? Because my weight loss story isn't complete without talking about my overall health. What changed for me in the last year I've been living in the UK wasn't just the number on the scale. I feel like I've genuinely aged backwards. I sleep through the night now. I wake up without feeling completely exhausted. Going upstairs doesn't feel like a workout anymore. Breathing is easier. It's even affected my mood and my mental clarity. And the strangest part is, none of this started happening because I decided to get healthy. It started because I began living somewhere else. All right, backstory now. I'm down 80 pounds, so let's talk about what actually changed.
Okay. First of all, oh, shout out to his health issues. Oh my God, I could not imagine having to sleep with a mask on. I don't know how you would be able to sleep comfortably with it. Scary to think about, like the severity of your health being so bad that you have to wear this machine to breathe at night. Jeez.
Honestly, it came down to two things. The first thing was food, and I didn't really even notice it at first. I stopped drinking sugary beverages all the time. Not because I banned them, and not because they're not available here, they most certainly are. They just weren't automatically part of every meal anymore. In America, you can get endless refills pretty much everywhere you go.
Oh,
Sugar is also everywhere. And American food often has added sugar in it, even if you don't think that that food would have added sugar
yep,
in it. Think
yep,
like bread and
yep,
sauces and dressings and
absolutely.
juice. Even food that is marked as healthy has a ton of added sugar in
Yep.
it all of the time. When all of that disappeared from my life, I noticed that something changed, and that's the amount of inflammation that my body was undergoing all of the time. My face was the first thing to change, and it really feels like everything else followed after that. My arms, my legs, my stomach. And something worth noting is that I still eat sugary foods. I still have all my favorite comfort foods too. Like I still enjoy like a good takeaway or just like rich meals in general. I still drink from time to time, even ones that have a butt ton of sugar in them. But what I'm saying is, I didn't become some kind of like ultra clean eating person all of a sudden. Sugar just isn't as prevalent in the stuff that I eat every day anymore. The other
That's so real right there. I mean, I noticed that that was a big thing that I was struggling with when I first moved here was finding food that I actually liked because my palate was so used to all that added sugar and sodium and stuff. I just wasn't finding anything that I was like satisfied with. But he is right. It's not that it's not available. It's just that it's not in every single thing. It's going to be easier for you to be healthier, right? At least to have less sugar in your diet. So I totally feel him on that. That's fantastic, though. The transformation is incredible.
big difference was portion size. Meals here
Mm.
feel like a normal amount of food. I eat until my body feels satisfied instead of accidentally overeating food that just never really seemed to fill me up. And that's really the thing, isn't it? Food is just more nutritious here in Europe than it is in America. I could eat a meal using ingredients from America and not really feel totally full or satisfied, but I eat a standard meal here and I'm actually full and I stay full. It's a very weird sensation if you haven't been through it yourself.
I agree with him on that. It is very weird sensation. It's so hard to explain to people. My partner and I have this conversation all the time as well. I think the term is moreish. You just constantly want more food in America. While you're sitting there and you're eating it, you kind of feel like you have to eat more. I don't know. It's a psychological thing probably. I think there is some kind of studies out there that say that like the more sugar you have, the more your body craves sugar because there's so much sugar in all of our foods in the United States. That's probably why you never really feel full because you always constantly want more sugar. I think he's got a point to that by far.
Healthy food does exist in America. It's just that more than often you have to go out of your way to find it. And even more often than that, it's much more expensive than
Mhm.
normal food. If your average income,
Yep.
you buy average groceries. And the average affordable food that's available is usually heavily processed and
Yep.
made with convenience in mind, not
Last
really
better.
your overall health. All right, we've talked about food. So now let's talk.
Also, the convenience in mind, but also like that it'll last for a long time. So a lot of frozen to processed meals, frozen vegetables with a lot of other additives and stuff too. A lot of the processing plants and the like meat farms that are all over the United States, animals, they're all pumped with all kinds of bulk up kind of chemicals. The convenient food is always the cheaper food in America. The healthy food is definitely much more expensive.
Talk about the second change, and probably the biggest one, movement. On average, in
Mhm.
America, your life is pretty much built around driving. You
Yep.
drive to get your groceries, to run your errands, to go to work, literally to do anything.
Yep.
You drive. And while that still may be true here in the UK for some places, a lot of the time you are, in fact, able to walk to the shop, to the train, to get home without even trying. Coming to the UK basically quadrupled my step count. Movement in general stopped being something that I had to schedule into my calendar. And walking's great exercise, let me tell you. I really truly began to start living differently because movement has just been unavoidable. Whereas before, it's completely optional.
He absolutely right. I've touched on this several times in some of my videos as well, is that I couldn't believe how walkable at least the southeast part of England that I live in, was compared to how I grew up in. It is insane how accessible things are via walking, where even if you need to take public transit like a bus or a train, how easy it is to get to those things and how little you have to drive. Even when I was working outside the home, I was still able to walk to the train station, walk to the office, grab a bus if I needed. Whereas in the United States, at least where I grew up and where I lived and worked, you needed a car to get anywhere. Even if there was something that was in somewhat walkable distance, it was either really inconvenient to get there, like where the sidewalks didn't go all the way down the path or something like that, or it was dangerous because there were really, really busy roads and there weren't really well designated crosswalks or anything like that. And you were literally like putting your life in your hands to get to the grocery store.
I would say that food really caused most of the weight loss, and movement made sure that it stayed lost. And that pretty much brings us to today. I can't believe I'm saying
I
it,
think that's probably a good comparison by his standard. You have to exercise to keep your body moving, to keep your body burning, but it's really 90% of weight loss is diet. Curious to see how things go on from here.
but I'm within 10 pounds of my goal weight that I've been working towards
That's
for the last six
amazing.
and a half years. It
Wow.
feels completely unreal to say that. This entire experience has completely shocked me. Nothing I ever did or tried in the US actually worked, or at least got close to the results I'm seeing now. For years, I would avoid certain clothes and photos being taken of me in social situations. As a Christmas gift, my girlfriend got me some pants and some shirts because she knows that I'd never buy clothes for myself. But she didn't just give me any shirt or pants. She got me shirts and pants that are quite a lot smaller than the size that I'm used to wearing. And the first time I put on one of the shirts that she gave me, I looked in the mirror and all I could do was cry.
Oh,
I finally saw somebody that I thought truly reflected me for the first time in years. And seeing that happen just filled me with this weird, indescribable joy. It felt like getting a version of myself back. Living in
oh my God, that was so sweet. Oh, that was such a beautiful moment. It was so lovely of him to share that and be vulnerable for that moment. I just want to give him a big hug. What a great journey. What a great moment. Oh, I'm so glad he got to have that.
the UK didn't just magically give me discipline. Everything around me changed. Better portions, less sugar, less toxins in my food overall, a lot more walking and exercise, more balance. And that's
Uh-huh.
really what it is at the end of the day, isn't it?
Mhm.
America makes healthy choices inconvenient, but here, healthy choices just happen naturally. And when my environment changed, my body followed. Living here removed obstacles for me that I didn't even know were there. This whole thing still just amazes me. I wasn't chasing weight loss. I just changed my entire life, and my weight loss efforts became a lot easier. It didn't just change where I live, it changed how I live. And
Oh.
in a very real way, it saved me. There's actually a whole lot more on this topic that I want to say, and just a whole lot more experiences that I want to share with you. I'm still learning to script well and make videos here on YouTube that you guys actually want to watch. But I think I'm going to end this one here. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you also for watching my last video about things I do differently now that I have been living here in the UK. You can check that one out here. That video did unusually well. I think it's because you guys were sending hype points to the video, which I didn't know you could do. So thank you. If you'd like to hype this video as well, That'd be kind of
Bye,
hype. I'm going
bye,
to try to
bye.
get out one video a week. Maybe not on the same day every week, but at least a video a week. I still don't know what they'll all be about, but I hope to do more than just be a floating head here talking with string lights in the
Hey,
background. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it.
hey, there's nothing wrong with talking head videos. I just have to say that. Of course, that's because that's 90% of what I do. What a great story. He seems like a great guy. I have watched a few of his videos. He genuinely comes off like this in all the videos that I've watched so far anyway. He's very honest with his journey. I love that he gave that vulnerable moment and didn't hold back on that. I know that as a fellow YouTuber, it is hard sometimes to put that vulnerability out there to the world, to a bunch of strangers, not knowing how they're going to take it. But just from my point of view, anyway, Russ, if you ever see this reaction, I'm really, really impressed. You've inspired me. I want to get back to that. And I let myself down because I made some really bad choices, but I'm getting back into it. And hopefully I can share a similar video someday with everybody too. Very inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing that, Russ. I hope you guys got some inspiration out of this as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if there's any other videos, Russ's that you want me to react to or anything else at all. Looking forward to maybe possibly having Russ on one of our lives and maybe doing a collab in the future. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that below as well. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey everybody, what's going on?